Hello there, my name is Retro. I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so something computer random. And today we'll talk about new animated pattern come out like a month ago called Rhino and Redbill. And this animated pattern, it's one of those patterns that is just so well made. In fact, this was sort of supported back in Kickstarter a couple of years ago, and something that sort of came out of nowhere because Rhino and the Redbill is one of those animated shorts that's really smart what it does, especially the animation. The animation and how to describe it, sort of like Walt Disney. I mean, sort of old Walt Disney used to do 2D animation, but done in sort of the CGI. I think it's one of the things that just grabs you because how they sort of mimic that sort of art style, but it's not. It's more CGI, but it just sort of grabs your attention, especially how everything sort of sets up at the very beginning. It starts with sort of a glitch in a way that something is wrong. Something is telling you time has passed because how the area changed, sort of started to brown, darkish, almost like the color of End of the World. But that's the whole point because it is sort of End of the World. In fact, it's the whole world is sort of built sort of like Mad Max. But I'll tell you or give you information. It doesn't give you data or anything. It's just sort of you assume. And you start with the two main leads called Nails and Red. And I love their sort of chemistry because this whole short or these two characters were inspired by the original Rhino and Red Bill. If you don't know their relationship in real life as animals, to better describe them, they basically sort of an odd couple. Odd couple, they actually really needed each other to survive because Red Bills are small and weak, and rhinos are big and strong. But the only problem is the rhinos can't really see that well, and red bills are sort of weak and trying to figure out how to survive. And at the same time, because their size and their strength sort of complement each other and let them hang out with each other. Every time you see sort of a documentary of a red bill hanging out with a rhino, you see them sort of relationship, how very protected they are for each other, but at the same time you can see how toxic it really is because they get frustrated with each other because sometimes they cross the line, and that's simply the idea of the relationship of the two main leads. They just took it to the next step. What if these two characters or these two animals were alive, talking, and serve a end of the world situation? And they take that to the most interesting and more fascinating thing you can actually do with this short. I love it how they point their weaknesses and their strengths a very couple of seconds when you meet them. For example, Nels is blind. He cannot see, but he's big and strong. He could move things around, but once more, he kind of is lost. He can't read the map or read the signs, so he needs Red for assistance. And Red is sort of weak and pathetic, but he actually can read and actually can point direction what Niles need to go. But I love it. They have this sort of weird relationship. They have they like each other, but also they hate each other. But they actually that's their question on the middle of the conversation. Why they actually together? What was the point? They never really describe how they met, but they drop little hints to understand. One of the biggest hints about this pilot is Sam. We don't know who she or they or he really is, but Red used that as sort of motivation for Niles to help them cross the, you could say, valley in a way, because they do describe the episode or the pilot that was trying to find a safe spot to get water and recuperate. The only problem is they don't know really where they're going. The only thing they know, they have a map and follow it. But there is one major problem. They ran out of water for Niles. So Red decided, said, why not cross this area, this mountain, because it's straight directly the place where we actually need to go. But the only problem is it's not in the map. And Niles sort of disagreed with Red. We should follow the map. Red wants to cross the cave so we can get faster to protect Niles. But because how Niles is sort of blind, Red told lied to him and drag him inside the cave. And this is basically the component of the whole episode, figuring out their relationship and why Niles trusts Red so much. And they sort of fall out the relationship. That basically the whole episode. But a little bit, they actually just build in a more encrypted this sort of mysticism of the cave. They kind of drop you question how messed up this world really is. And that's why I sort of pointed out at the very beginning of this video, it's sort of like Mad Max, because some of the creatures you see how Niles and Red meet, like this sort of gang who actually are basically ripped apart and recreated as sort of half animal, half machine, almost sort of steampunk, but more Dexter like. They did things questionable to survive, especially trying to survive inside the cavern because the cavern kind of messed them up because of the kind of gas and how Niles and Red react to the gang leader and the people, and they try to sort of survive. And the whole point of the whole episode or pilot is see how they complement each other, how much they need each other, especially how the whole episode or pilot points out Red can actually fly away, but he doesn't. They do explain his wings are sort of injured. In this one, I mean their relationship complement each other, their weakness and their strength. And I feel that was sort of interesting to see their trust sort of kind of messed up because Red wanted to get faster and Niles doesn't. He wanted to take his time. If he doesn't have enough water to survive, he knows he'll be safe. But at the same time, Red does it because of Sam. And the pilot shows who Sam is the egg that he was protecting. Once more, it doesn't know what happened to the mother. Doesn't really tells you how they both met. You sort of assume, especially what happened to the very end. Yeah, I mean, if you watch this pilot on YouTube, watch to the very end because they give you a sort of a stinger explaining why they start walking together because this other dangerous animal that he is chasing both of them. You don't know why, you don't know how, but he wants them. He does. You don't know if because of the egg or maybe because of Red or whatever reason. You just know they've been hunted with this different animal. But yeah, I think that's the reason why this short is so good. It doesn't really need to tell you. It shows you, it let you sort of assume what's actually going on. It did it just so well that you can't get angry because the little things still not answer, but you don't care because it showed you so well the relation, the area, and the situation. It's just so well done. Just wow. I actually want this to be a movie or a series because at the very end, this is a party for that. Yeah, I hope it got popular enough to make its own show or movie. In fact, let me ask this question. Do you see this short? In fact, the only reason I know is because one of my commentaries on my last video commented about this video and I didn't want to do it, but until I actually watch it, like, wow, yeah, this short is worth talking about. It's how good and interesting the animation is, sort of how it's written. It's just so fascinating. So I kind of recommend to watch the pilot. It's not that long. It's 10 minutes long. You can easily breeze it out, but it does grab you to the very beginning and to the very end because of the characters. Now I really got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.